Hello, my name is Jody Tumbulian, and I'm going to show you how to wet mount some Chinese painting. It's an ink painting that one of my students did. First thing that you need to do is you need to get some backing paper, and you need to cut it to the size that you need, about 2 inches larger. This one is a little bit snug on the top and bottom, but we can make that work. So I've already cut one piece for you. So it will look like this. Okay, the very first thing you need to do is you need to find the front of your paper, put it face down on either glass or plexiglass, and you're going to be using rice paste. The rice paste is made from rice flour, alum, and water, and in another video I will show you how to make that. You will need a soft brush, which could be a hake. I just have any kind of soft brush. It needs to be very, very soft so you don't tear the rice paper. Also, you will need some kind of a stiff brush. I use a whisk broom because in the United States that's very easy to get. You'll need some chopsticks. The chopsticks are basically in the place of a whisk. It actually, when you use it in this fashion, you get, it's better than a whisk to get out bubbles and to get out little flower pots and things like that. Okay, once you have everything set up, you need some water, you need some paper towels, and I think we're pretty much ready to go. So the very first thing you need to do is put your paper, your painting, face down on either glass or plexiglass, which is a very easy surface to clean up. And you're going to start in the center and just go out from the center. That way you're pushing any air bubbles out, you're pushing, trying to keep it from wrinkling. And just continue to do that until it's completely covered and you have most of your air bubbles and most of your wrinkles worked out. Rice paper is very, very fragile, so even though you do want to work quickly, you do need to be aware of the directions that you're going. If there's a little tear in your artwork, you can fix that. Just make sure that the direction that you're going, that you don't add to the problem. But a lot of times once you wet mount something, some of those little tears you can't see anymore. This will be wet mount on some white paper, and it actually is very, very beautiful when it's finished. The whites will be whiter than what they were, and the paper will not be flimsy anymore. This is an example of something that has been wet mount, and see how sturdy that is compared to just regular rice paper. So it takes just a minute. Try to get the air bubbles out. And wrinkles can happen, and that's just the nature of this type of work, but you want to try to get as many out as you can. And same thing with the air bubbles. I'm working very quickly here. You probably would want to take a little bit more time when you're doing your work. Okay, that looks pretty good. A few more air bubbles at the top. Set that aside. Then get some paper towels, and with a wet paper towel, clean up around the edges, because we don't want to glue the backing paper. We do not want glue at that part of the backing paper. So you want to get that cleaned up, a little bit of wet and then dry. Take a little bit of time with that. The next thing, you want to take your pre-measured paper. This is a small piece, so it will not be too hard to put the backing paper on it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, the next thing, you take your backing paper that you have pre-measured, and you need to be using the rough part. The rough part is the part that you paint on. That's the part that is the good part of the paper. There's a smooth part and a rough part. And you can roll it up if you have a large piece and then unroll it. Or since it's such a small piece, I can just look at it and put it down. You want to pat gently with your hands. Put it down. The next thing that you would like to do is to get any excess moisture out. So you will take a newspaper, just plain old newspaper, lay it down, take your stiff broom, or brush I should say, in my case it's the whisk broom, and you're just simply trying to get the moisture, excess moisture out from that paste. And you're putting pretty firm pressure on this as you're doing it. And I always like to work from the center out. It's a very good habit to get into. Okay. And then take it. There may be a little bit of moisture on there. Probably can't see it from the camera. Okay, I'm almost finished. So the next thing I need to do is I need to take my paper paste, and I'm going to take a thin line of paste all the way around. And this is what's going to be pasted to the board behind me. After you paste it on the board, I like to wait 24 hours before I cut it down. And within minutes you'll be able to see just how beautiful this backing paper will make this picture. It changes it completely. Okay, so now I have it, so I have paste all the way around the perimeter, and I do want to leave as much room, maybe 2 inches if possible. On the sides it was a little tight, so I only left maybe 1 inch. And then the next thing, you want to peel it up and go from a corner. Make sure that it is pulling up the picture with you. So you can take this, if you're really fancy, you can hold this broom and the corner together. Okay, you're going to bring it up, and then you go to a board and set it here. Take your whisk broom, bring it out, and you're going to whisk the corners on first. If you have a very large piece, you may want to actually take a straw and blow some air behind, because you want a pocket of air behind it so that you're not actually gluing it to the board. So after you did the corners, you're going to whisk out, and you're just touching the glue. Do not touch your painting, because if you touch your painting, you're going to make it stick to the board. So you would like a little air pocket there. So just whisk out. And notice when I did the corners, I did the top corner first. And then you can take and kind of use the edge and beat on it, just to make sure it's nice and firm. Okay, and then when it dries, the background is going to be a beautiful white, and you just take an X-Acto knife, and what you would do, again, I would wait 24 hours, you're going to go between where you glued and the paper and just cut it out. Leave the top part for last. So let's go ahead and try to cut this one. It looks like she may have got a little bit close to the picture, so hopefully it will work. This again is one of my students' work. So hopefully we're not glued down. And it should just come right off. Here she cuts a little bit. You have to tell your students not to touch the picture. If you do, it's going to glue it on as she did. She kept coming to me saying, it's dry, it's dry. I'm like, don't touch the picture. It's going to glue right on there. And so this is it when it's completed. And that's how you wet mount Chinese painting. Thank you so much.